Well, good morning. We are running a couple minutes late, so we appreciate your patience, but I'm going to go ahead and get us kick this thing off. My name is Chris Rita. I'm the Executive Director of the Appalachian Regional Planning Council, and we're the host of the 850 Hemp Summit here in Marianna, and we're really happy to be here with you. We're on the heels of this is our second summit in, I guess, probably less than 2 months? 4 months of planning total, and we're looking at over 500 people. So a lot of interest right now in the hemp industry in this region. I'm just out of curiosity, how many people attended the inaugural hemp summit in Tallahassee, if you'd raise your hand? Great. I was hoping we'd have some people, because we do have it's a whole nother lineup of panelists and more information and new information that's taken place since the last hemp summit. So I don't want to take up too much time, but I just want to go ahead and give some thank yous and then turn it over to some of our elected officials to also kick this off. Wanted to just really thank everyone that's helped put this together. And it really starts with Leon County Commissioner Kristen Dozier, who's to my right here. This really just started as an idea that she had, and she came to the Appalachian Regional Planning Council board. She's our vice chair. And just so you know, the ARPC is it's an organization that's sole purpose is to serve the local governments in the 9-county region. It's Jefferson County on the east, and it goes all the way to Jackson, Calhoun, and Gulf on the west. And one of the program areas that we have many program areas, but the most important is economic development. And we really feel that this region needs a lot of help in that area, especially after Hurricane Michael. So Commissioner Dozier had this idea about this emerging hemp industry and thought that maybe we could help put together a couple summits in the region to get the ball rolling and get some momentum on the hemp industry in our region, and here we are today. So we really have a great program for you, and this whole summit, both of these summits, was her vision. So I want to thank you and just let you know that wasn't just an idea. She's done a ton of the work. She is my board member, and I'm giving her a lot of credit. And she's not paying me for this, but she actually put together the agenda. She has reached out to all the panelists. She has brought people together. This was a lot of work on her part, so she does really deserve a lot of credit. Also, this certainly could not have been done without our many partner agencies and sponsors, and I'd be remiss if I did not identify them all, since a lot of the breakfast and the lunch has been paid for by the sponsor organizations. So Oglesby's Plants International sponsored our breakfast. Later today, lunch is going to be provided by FLC Bank in Opportunity, Florida. And you'll notice some of our booths and exhibits set up. We have a Southern AgCom Inc. sponsored our booths. And so be sure to visit these tables when we have breaks. We have breaks built in to allow you to network and to meet other people and exchange information, but also go out and around the room here and visit some of our exhibits as well. Our gold sponsor for the summit today is Specialty Sales Company, and our media/advertising sponsor is Sunshine Cannabis. Also just want to quickly recognize some of our ARPC board members that have helped and supported us in putting these summits on. Obviously, I mentioned Leon County Commissioner Kristen Dozier, Jackson County Commissioner Jim Peacock, Calhoun County Commissioner Gene Bailey. I also see Liberty County Commissioner Dexter Barber here, and also Mayor Brenda LaPaz from the city of Carabel. So want to go ahead and pass this off to Commissioner Jim Peacock, and I hope you really enjoy the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris, and I would like to thank all of you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to come to Jackson County and to learn about hemp. I think this is a great idea that Ms. Dozier had, and when she presented it at a board meeting, I immediately said we need to do this. Part of the conference should be in Jackson County, where our farmers are located, because without farmers, you're not going to have hemp. I would like to recognize a couple of our county commissioners from Jackson County that are here. We have the chairman of the board, Mr. Clint Pate, and we have another board member, Mr. Eric Hill, that is here. And of course, Gene Bailey is county commissioner from Calhoun County. So We appreciate everyone attending today. Hope you learn a lot. The farmers, I would highly encourage you to take a look at this as a viable rotational type crop. I think money can be made in this. There are some questions that need to be answered, but I think we can get it. For the people that are in the manufacturing and the processing business, Northwest Florida, especially Jackson County, is an ideal location. We, as a county commission, is directly behind this and supporting it 100%. We want a processing and manufacturing plant in Jackson County so that our farmers will have a location to sell their products. If we can't get a processor, it's going to be difficult to convince these farmers to go into the business of planting hemp. But I think it is a viable alternative crop that will fit well into the rotations that most of our farmers are utilizing now in their practices. I would encourage the farmers to listen, take notes, put the pencil to it, and you make the decision as to whether or not it's going to work for you. Housekeeping items, I would just like to tell you, restrooms go out the door to the right and to the left for anyone that needs them. And with that, I'll turn it over to Ms. Kristen Dozier. She has done a lot of the work, like Chris said, to put this thing together. Without her, it wouldn't be possible. Let's give her a hand.
Thank you, Doug.
There's a laser pointer in the center.
And as, before I introduce myself here and everything, Doug, yes, thank you very much for hosting us today. Doug with the UF-IFAS Extension, and I'm sure we've all been to conferences where there's a little bit of challenge with the tech, right, getting, at the beginning here, but our goal today is also to videotape all of the panels as we did the last time to make sure other folks have access. So thank you for bearing with us this morning. So I appreciate my colleagues, Commissioner Peacock and our great Executive Director, Chris Rito, for their kind compliments, but this has truly been a team effort. You should know, and for those of you from the area, you will not be surprised that Jim has been a dogged advocate for Jackson County. He just said it. He wants a processor right here since we first started this conversation several months ago, and it has been about 3.5 months since the Planning Council Board decided to embark on hosting these summits. Chris Rito and his staff have done an incredible amount of work. He just told you a little bit about the Planning Council. I encourage you to talk with the staff today if you don't know much about the Planning Council. They are working on so many projects that helps our region. The council covers 9 counties from Leon to Jackson, down to the coast, really strengthen ourselves, build capacity, and in the last year, as every one of you I'm sure has done yourselves, they have been helping with hurricane recovery. And they added these events to their already phenomenally busy schedule. So you will see them here today. Actually, most of them are in the back. They are wearing the Never Forgotten t-shirts. So be sure to talk with them if you want to know more about the Planning Council. And a couple other thank yous. And for the Never Forgotten shirts, I'm going to go to Alex Workman, who is standing in the back with our video cameras and setting up mics. The Workmans do an incredible amount of really amazing videos and other ways of promoting, helping with different events. I will let Alex explain his business. I'm not doing a good job with that. But you should know his wife, in-laws are from Mexico Beach. And Alex and Chelsea took it upon themselves to really do everything they could, as so many of us did, to help those of you who are west of Tallahassee, quite frankly, and were hardest hit by the hurricane. The shirts, they've been selling for a year, and it's direct donation to help people recover. So we wanted to support them, and the shirts that you see happen to be hemp shirts. And that was courtesy of Alex and his partners in Orlando. Alex, you'll have to give me the name of the company a little later because it's not coming to mind right now, and I'll thank them in a little while. Last two, I want to thank my aide, Gary Zirin, who has been with me throughout this, and Gabe Van Tressie, who's our event manager. They have worked an incredible amount, as all the rest of the staff, to put these events together. And for all of our panelists and speakers, a few of whom are returning, but a lot of folks are new, for those of you who did attend the October 2nd event, thank you all for joining us. We have learned a tremendous amount through this process. And so now I'm going to transition just for a couple of quick comments about what you're going to hear today and what our goals are with this. As Chris said, I kind of dropped this idea on the Planning Council board in July, but I knew two things going in. One, industrial hemp and CBD oil is going to be a reality in Florida. The legislature had passed the bill, the governor was going to sign it, and the North Florida was perfectly positioned to take advantage of this new industry, but there was a tremendous amount to learn. We have never seen something like this happen, to my knowledge. Actually, Richard Williams with Opportunity Florida had the best analogy with prohibition. Something that was illegal and all of a sudden is legal. This one, though, the rules, everything else, it is complicated, as we know. I want to particularly thank the Florida Department of Agriculture. You'll hear from some of those folks today, led by our cannabis director, Holly Bell, who spoke at the last summit. She's the first cannabis director in the entire country. And to go from session in a new administration to completing their rulemaking in October and now submitting that to the federal government for approval has been a remarkable process. It has moved faster than the medical marijuana. They have done it with professionalism and an incredible amount of engagement, and I truly appreciate their efforts. Without that, we would not be as far as we are and have the ability to get permits, hopefully after the first of the year, to start growing hemp and really pushing this industry forward. But this has all been working kind of at the same time. You know, we are all learning together. We are learning and making contacts as we go. The second thing that the Planning Council recognized is that in our region, everyone was still recovering, and you may not have time to go out to all of these other events outside of the region and learn about this new industry and what's happening. So we really wanted to bring it home. And this gets me to the agenda. We had an incredible response, very positive, to our October 2nd event. However, I did hear from some folks, particularly farmers, who said you really wanted to dig in more to farming practices and the seeds issues and the processors. We had one panel that captured all three of those issues, and then a panel on the research about seeds. I recognize why you wanted more information, those of you who were there. And we could have communicated those goals a little bit better. Again, this was fast-paced, but it also gave us some comfort that we were on the right track, because as soon as the Planning Council started to take up this conversation in July, we recognized that we needed to host a second event after the harvest here in Jackson County that was focused on farming. And that's what we're here to do today. So we hope that we built an agenda that's going to give you a lot of time to interact with the panelists, interact with each other, but we also want your feedback. This is not the end of this process. So if you've got other questions, if you need to know more things in the future, give us that feedback. If you get a survey in the future, please let us know what other questions you still have, and we're going to continue to work on this. The agenda, we're going to start with the rules and the regulations and the advisory committee for FDACs. We're then going to move into panels focused on seeds and clones and then farming. The afternoon is going to look a little different. We have 4 people who represent different perspectives on processing, and I will say, having had deep conversations with all 4 of them, they each have a real holistic view, making sure that farmers and processors and every piece of this business, this really works for everyone. And so we've separated their presentations and given them 10 minutes each to present with 10 minutes of Q&A, and then we're gonna have a group discussion. I hope that really lets you dig into some of these different options. With that, I am going to turn it over to our first panel now, and we're going to get going. And I just want to close by saying thank you for showing up. First day of winter for us. It's nice and warm here, and we do hope you have a fantastic day. Thank you for your interest, and I think we're going to do a lot of good for North Florida, pushing this industry forward. So our first panel is going to be moderated by our very own Roy Baker from Opportunity Florida. Many of you may know Roy. He is a fierce advocate for the region, and I'm going to let him come up and introduce our first panel. Thank you very much.